Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with Travis, the developer of the app, the deck building app Xray, here to show you an MTG Arena sealed while filtering it through the Xray app that will help us build this sealed pool by showing us the correct mana base as well as show us a very defined and potent curve. So let's just have Travis first of all explain the app and we'll run it through the whole process.
Great, thanks Kevin. So Kevin and I opened the sealed pool, and first, I have to say it requires your deck building skills to give it a direction. So Kevin and I looked through here. He really liked Celestia, the green-white, didn't have enough blue, black to play, and so basically we took these cards out of the seal pool. Let me show you the app, and we put them all into the Xray app. And once we had it in here, Kevin made his choices of the absolute must-haves. So these 10, 11 cards that you see on the screen here form the basis of what we knew we were going to play around, just like you might typically do in a seal pool. And then down below here are all the other cards that we might decide to splash or not splash. So Kevin, you had told me that you wanted me to run a green-white analysis. You told me you'd like to see green-white with a splash of black and green-white with a splash of red. And so let me show you what I came up with by running the seal pool. You give it all the time you can. I ran this green-white right here for 30 minutes on my laptop, and these are kind of the results that it came up with. What do you think about this list here?
Yeah, for limiting it to the green-white, it came up to it with a nice curve, nice aggression. I was more impressed with the splashes just because I do believe that the mana base is good and can support the other colors, whether it be black or red. But otherwise, it's pretty solid. Like, it found a very good curve and an appropriate mana base to follow suit with it. So
okay, yeah. So let me show you some of the others. So if I were to hit the score button on this, it runs a few thousand games, goldfish style. And basically what I'm looking at is, it's dropping 25 spells of mana over those 8 turns. And I'm using up, a good percentage of my mana during that game. But so let's move over and just as an example, like the Iron Shell Beetle, I'm going to click on that and show you some stats. So, it's in our opening hand about 1 out of 5 times, and 99% of the games, it gets it down between turn 2 and 3. So, I'm sure it can play 1 in a green, more often than turn 3. But with all the other things going on the deck, on average, it's going to come out between turn 2 and 3 almost 100% of the time, right? So let's keep that in mind, and we'll go look at one of the ones that we splash. So let's look at the green-black, for instance. I think it's got a beetle in it as well. Yeah, it's got a beetle. So let me score this one, okay? And let's look at that same card. So if I touch Iron Shell Beetle, you can see that, it is played a few less percentage points, but it's not having too much trouble coming out between turn 2 and 3 as well. So I'm going to pause there if you have any comments about, these stats that we're looking at right here.
Well, I guess the whole idea of the app is to really prove. I am the opposite of Wizard of the Coast. The more data, the merrier to look at things and analyze things. I think this is an app that you can play to your advantage. We found some very interesting things before we started recording this video. We played around with it a lot, and we were wondering, why isn't it putting this card in? And then we actually checked the stats on those cards, and like, oh, okay, well, it's obviously not as good as we thought it was, because it's just not actually being able to cast it like we thought it was being able to cast it. And this card is just strictly better because it is coming out and an often 10, 15, 20% chance higher than the other card, and that's why it's favoring it. Now, again, you gotta think about the human element for when we utilize Xray. Xray doesn't have everything programmed in. like a lot of the mechanics, and also is impossible for it to really analyze the power of certain cards with their kind of the finer abilities of them. But to give you an overall good data about the curve and the mana base, which is so important in sealed. If you're losing at sealed and draft consistently, I guarantee you it's because you have a problem with creating a good mana base and a good curve. In constructed, those are still super important, but in limited, it is basically everything. Being able to cast the cards on time, the turns they need to come out, and just being more efficient than your opponent. So this is why this is super, super important with these stats that we show.
Yeah, and so I was asking Kevin, and card evaluation is really important too. I mean, this is my first time to see the set. Kevin's played a lot more. And so as we were going through the cards, for instance, like Spinal Centipede, for instance, I said, hey, what's some black cards that you might want to include and that you value more highly? So there's a star rating system. You could it starts at 5 stars. And so a 5-star card, like a Centipede, is a 3-drop, right? 2 and a black, that equals a 3-drop. At 5 stars, when it plays that card, it writes down, oh, you played 3 worth of mana. At 6 cards, it starts to give it a bonus. At 10, it doubles what it writes down. So I went through the cards that Kevin liked and bumped the star rating up just a little bit. So while it's thinking about them, it's giving them a little more value, because Centipede gives a +1/+1 counter when it dies. So, you liked it, right, Kevin?
Yeah.
I mean, you think it's at least a 6-star card, right?
Yeah, it's slightly better than just another filler 3/2. So, yep.
Yeah. So that's how you get control. Just because we don't have everything programmed in doesn't mean you don't get some control over, what's going on. Now, cards that we do have programmed in are in italics here. Like you notice Celestia Guildgate is in italics. If you touch the card, you'll see a little certified seal in the lower right, little Xray icon saying, hey, we've programmed this card. So this card definitely enters tapped. And when you tap it, it understands that you can get green and white mana. So it understands that. And I just got done programming those. And I think we're going to make this early pre-release just for your Patreon.
Yeah, I've got a link. If you are a patron of Rogue Deck Builder, you can come over to Patreon, and I have a post that is viewable specifically by patrons, and you can click on it. There will be a link to a zip file for this app, and it's quite easy to install. The instructions are in there, and you can kind of mess around with it, and we'll show how to run it. We're going to run the gist of the app this time, and we're going to schedule a Q&A after people actually start downloading it and giving it a go, that we can answer questions more thoroughly and show you more of the finer uses of the app.
Yep. So I just want to spend some time with all you guys who support Rogue Deck Builder, and I want to release this app through there and give you guys the access and do all my updates there.
And and for the future too, we will be using this app on upcoming brews too, and upcoming just things that I mess around with, because I do believe knowledge is power. And so when Travis kind of pitched me this idea, oh wow, yeah, I was definitely into it. You might remember Travis was on it's been a long time since we had you on the channel, but he's been diligently working on the app and refining it, and it looks beautiful. And so we're super excited to have this open in kind of a alpha stage, beta stage for everyone else to test and see how they like it.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the Naya deck, because we talked. I know you like that one the best.
Yeah.
I like the Abzan. You like the Naya, but I haven't played as much as you, and I like them both really. So what's interesting is Gateway Plaza is programmed. It cannot lay the land without paying 1. It knows, like, you're not just going to lay this land and let it vaporize. Like, you're going to wait till you can pay 1. And then once you do get this land down, it understands you can just tap and get any color. So it shows you the colors it's possible to make with this land, and shows you that it's programmed. So that's pretty cool. And in the 3-color decks, it does put Gateway Plaza in, and it made that choice itself. I just want to point that out. The other thing of note is, in all these decks, it shows 18 lands. Now, I just want to show you the settings real quick. We gave it leeway between 16 to 18 lands. If you want a 17 land deck, you set these how you want them. But I gave it a little leeway because we were forcing some fairly large stuff down here in our curve. And I'm the type of player that doesn't, I would rather be looking at an extra land in my hand than not, especially during the opening hand.
Especially Naya as well. You gotta judge. Hey, am I a Boros deck that needs to be winning the game quick? Am I a Naya deck that can go over top of? Am I a Dimir deck that can actually utilize every bit of mana that comes out? Those are all human element things that you have to make the choice on, and that's what I really like about being able to set parameters. Again, you're able to set every card as a power level. So maybe the app isn't very good at showing how good the Samala Woodshaper is, but you're like, oh yeah, that's, if you're in the colors, you're going to play it. So you can adjust that accordingly. So same thing with the mana base. A lot of those things have to be decided by you, the deck builder.
Yep. And so we gave it a little room to work, and I think you're noticing, well, let me hit the score button real quick just to get the stats going. Okay. And, you know, we're still dropping 25 units of mana. With the 3-color, we went down a few percentage points and what percentage of our mana we fully utilize in the entire game, because there's a little color screw now and then on a hand. And so you're noticing it shows 2 barging sergeants instead of maybe putting in, hope I'm not scrolling around too fast, the hammer dropper, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you don't like 2 barging sergeants and you wanted to swap out the whelp, you know, you don't even have to rerun anything. You know your mana is perfect. A 4 and a red for 4 and a red, that's your deck building choice. But did you want me to show them what happens when we put hammer dropper in?
Yeah, it was yeah.
Okay, so real quick, you push this button to put it in your deck, and you don't have to have it think for you and fill in your slots yourself. You can do that yourself. And I'm going to take out 1 barging sergeant. I'm going to rerun the score, and I do that because now I can click the sergeant and I can go look at the stats. I don't know if you like looking at the natural turn you draw it or if it's in your opening hand. My eyes always kind of go down to like, oh, if I started this with them in my hand, how would I feel? So that's what these stats are down here. About a 5th of the time, it's going to be in your opening hand. When it is in your opening hand, 3/4 of the games, you're going to find an opportunity to play it right around turn 6. That's what's happening with that, right? And if we compare that to the hammer dropper, not bad, but a big note is, once again, about a 5th of the time will be in your opening hand, but a lot less times, for some reason, we're playing this because we have a lot more to do as the game progresses. Theoretically, we may not even be very colored screwed on this, but it is a little harder to get the red white, or even, you know, the 1 red earlier than it is as you're waiting a little longer to go up for the barging sergeant. So these stats, I don't know, what do you think, Kevin? What do you want to run? Hammer dropper or not?
I mean, right there, it's just the proof is in the pudding right there, that this is going to be a card that's going to be stuck more. It still looks like it's going to be cast more often than not. However, there is a huge discrepancy between what is that? Almost a 10% swing. That's pretty significant. And at that point, that's when you have to evaluate. All right, well, is the hammer dropper that much better than this other card, this other option, that it justifies a swing of the possibilities of being stuck in your hand? In this case, absolutely not. In fact, when you start to evaluate the card, hammer dropper is a 5/2 with Mentor. The barging sergeant is a 4/2 with haste with Mentor. So you're getting basically the use out of barging sergeant the same turn that the hammer dropper is coming out, because it doesn't have haste. So evaluation wise, to me, it's not worth the color screw. It's not worth the little swing of not being able to be played. So the sergeant gets the nod, and that's what I like the most about Xray. I mean, yes, you can be already really proficient with the curve, really proficient with mana base, but this can still give you that added buffer to give you more just sheer data to then use to your advantage.
Yeah, and so what's happened is it already thought about the curve. It's already got 4 4-drops.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, in the sorceries, another one. It's got a 5th 4-drop down here in the and a 6. It's got gravitic punch. So it's got 6 4-drops. And so what's happening is, it may not be a color screw thing, because red's not too hard to come by. But just the 4-drops are just crowded, and then by the time you get to a 5-drop, you might rather be playing a 5-drop and squeeze the value out of a haster. So, if you agree that Barging Sergeant is a 5-star card and the Hammer Guy is a 5-star card, all things being equal, you're going to play something on Furwolf 4, and you're going to wish you had like your Barging Sergeant coming out with haste on turn 5. So that's what it's trying to tell you. It's a little crowded in the 4 slot. Anyway, so
yeah, I liked it. What I really liked too is it's like a lot of times I'll just like evaluate cards just basically isolated, not really how they fit in the deck. It cut down the amount of 2-drops. It only wanted one of the Devkirin Dissident, and not any of the fresh faced, because there just wasn't room for it. If you start putting too many 2-drops, then it's going to affect your overall mana that you're going to be able to cast in that 8 turn. So that was really really cool too with that.
And something I want to point out is, just like you read on the meta and read about the card evaluations and you star them differently, and you read about like what you want your base deck to start with before you start running it through Xray, there's another big assumption. It's the speed of the format. So this slider is really critical. It's goldfishing out against a helpless opponent 8 turns. If you thought the format was super fast, you drag this down a bit. If you thought I was cutting sealed short and it's a dirtly format, you can bring it way up, and it will build this deck differently. If I say the format's more of a 12-turn format, you'd see this whole curve bubble up. It might drop a lot of these 2-drops, even 3-drops, if it's that slow. And if you don't agree with that and you still want to play a long game, just jam these things in your deck. It doesn't take them out. It just fills in the slots. Anyway, enough about all that. I just want you to know there's a technique to using this, and a lot of your assumptions go in it. It just, don't ever take it at face value. Like, you be the brewer. It can't solve everything at all for you. It's just good at curve. So, you want to go play this? Oh, the mulligan game. You want to show them that real quick?
Yeah. Anything you want to show, we can show.
Okay, I didn't know if we had time. So, there's a mulligan playground, and so this is my deck, the Naya deck, and this is the one Kevin likes. So there's a couple things you can do. I'll show you the most fun thing first. Let's go play the mulligan game. So it's going to randomly oh boy, I go to shit. It's supposed to flip the cards over.
Yeah, it did when we were testing it.
Yeah, let's well, I don't know if I should. Anyway, it's asking if it's a timer. Ask me if I want to keep or mull this hand, and yeah, well, without knowing. Anyway,
there we go.
There we go. Now it kicked in. And so after you make your choice, it says, yes, you were correct to keep this. You had forest, plains, forest, and then that was on your hand, and it liked it. So now it's showing you the next one. I like this hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal because of the scenarios here. I mean, you get your 2-drop out on time. Unfortunately, with the information, the 3-drop might not. But, I mean, more than likely over that amount of turns you'll draw on their land. So this is definitely, in my opinion, keepable hand. Nice curve on it.
Yeah. So here's a little tougher choice. One green card potentially stranded in our hand, but I like it otherwise.
Yeah, it's fine. You just need to top deck 1 land, and you've got halfway fixed.
Well, okay, so we got a lot of lands here.
No.
And a 4-drop, and it doesn't understand Siege Worm is convocable. I don't know. Would you?
Yeah, I'd usually ship it back. This one I'd ship back. It depends on, we know what's in the deck, so you're going to be at a massive card disadvantage if you keep this, because you don't need any more lands. So any land you draw after this point is basically a dead card. So therefore, you're probably better of having a 6.
I'm going to say mulligan. It may disagree, but either way, this is close.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it disagreed, but I would play the way you want, but it's fun to practice with this. Like, oh, this is a great hand.
Yeah, this one's good.
I'm just gonna keep. I would keep it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of in the same scenario. It's like how much you value a 4/3. You're not doing anything for a long time. All the land drops after this are pretty much dead. But yeah. This is one of those borderline ones, usually with 5 land.
Yeah, and so what you can do is you could write this hand down if you disagreed or want to see how close it was. And let me just get through this. I don't want to spend forever on this. Okay, so and then if you ever questioned it, you can either draw randomly and say, oh, yeah, how's it doing? Or you could set that hand one by one and say, this is what was in my hand, and you can score it. This is obviously a mulligan. There's no lands. So, and you could say whether you're on the play or the draw. Plays 2,000 games. So this hand, on average in 8 turns, is going to play out 10 mana worth. But, your average hand plays 24 mana's worth. And then your average mulligan hand plays 20 mana's worth. So, no land in your hand is a great example. Of course, it's a mulligan. But let me get a better hand than that. Okay, a couple lands, score that. This is an average hand. And if you want to see a game, you can hit example. This is hard to read for most people. This is my little debugging screen. But it tries to show you what's in your hand. These are lands. These are spells. Shows you what it laid down. See the Celestia land? It comes down tapped. You can see that the little sideways is. Anyway, I don't want to get too deep into this, but this is how I can see what's going on. Are we playing anything by a certain turn? What's going on? Do I like it? So enough of that. Let's go play some games, right?
Alrighty, so unfortunately we had some technical difficulties and lost the first match right when we went, but that one, the curve worked out really well with what we decided. Gravatic Punch ended up being the game winner, so I'm glad we kind of splashed for the red to give the deck reach. How'd you feel about it, Travis?
Yeah, I was really surprised those red cards came through. Just to clarify, we won the first match. We just lost it on the recording.
Yeah, we lost the stream. Yeah, right when we clicked on it, the stream went down. So,
that was my fault. I auto close all the other programs when I start to play Arena, and I didn't think it through. So there we go.
So a little bit of a recap with it. The mana base was a little bit awkward at first. Found the red mana, and as soon as we found that red mana, we're able to risk factor a bunch of damage because the board was very stalled. So the one thing you got to know about the sealed, at least, is this happens very often. This is a format, sealed in general, but Guilds Ravnica sealed can get the board state can really start to be advantageous to the player that wants to play defensively. So that's exactly what happened in this game. There's a Death Touch 1/1 out, so of course can't swing into it. Also a pumpable creature, and you're trading down if you're trying to, you get through. So it just went turn by turn by turn, and eventually Risk Factor and Gravatic Punch won the game. So
yeah. You ready to do another game?
Yeah, and mana base was pretty good. Like we said, it cast everything very well. Yep, let's go for it.
Yeah, I mean, just because Xray runs a million games and says this is in general what's going to happen, you still got variance. If you see us play 1 or 2 games on stream here, anything can happen. It's doesn't no getting around that. Yeah.
We should downvote you for using Teferi as your.
I like Teferi. All right, so we got 2 white cards kind of stranded in our hand at first, but we do have the district guide. Just have to get to that. I can go get white.
Yeah, it's risky. You have 2 draws, so statistically speaking, we have 16 cards that work here. So 16 divided by when you start with 7, so with 33. So that's right on average for 1 draw. We actually have 2 draws. So this is keepable in my opinion.
Okay, I'm gonna keep. Yeah, if you had time, you could practice the mulligan game. It'd be interesting to take a screen.
Yep.
Here, I'll take a screenshot.
I definitely think, statistically speaking, like I come from a poker background, so you try to always do things on odds. That's the best way to play poker. And yeah, this is definitely.
Yeah. Oh no.
Our opponent is definitely down to a 4. This could be an interesting game.
Yeah. So that I feel like that gives me an extra draw turn that I didn't.
Yeah, probably, unless something crazy comes out here. And that's not too crazy at the moment with no ways to pump it up. Ugh.
Yeah.
Arena.
Okay.
And think of per draw too, our statistics go up every draw because it's less cards available.
Well, if they mold the 4 and
there you go. Yep. So 2 draws, found it.
Let's see. What do we have doubles of in our
district guide? Still the right thing. I don't think we have any doubles besides white. So you want a white. Yeah, plains is great.
give me a chance to.
I don't think you want a guild gate. I think you just want a Planesware so you can cast your.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to remember.
There's only one
Yes.
double. The one double is the angel.
Yeah. Okay. So you want a white?
Yeah.
Okay. Boom. Yeah, we have Siege Worm as a double green, but by the time we get to that,
Do you know we could have got a guild gate there?
To invoke. We're all good.
Guild gate was actually probably okay to get there, but it's probably not significant at this point.
Yeah.
Because I just looked at our hand. We don't have anything we can cast for 4, so it's going to be Sworn Companions most likely next turn.
Huh.
Hey, there we go. We did get a 4-drop, and that's the correct one. I'd go this era. This Eratox is still better. Because then that allows us next turn to draw a land, untap land, do Sworn Companions and Skyline Scout and Venerated Loxodon all in one turn.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. That's a really, really powerful turn. I'm thinking my the opponent's going to scoop here in a second. I don't think a 1/1's going to get the job done. Well, maybe that can kind of stop you.
Yeah.
Oh, we were close. We were close with the Guild Gate. Sworn Companions.
Sworn Companions.
We could go Sworn Companion and Veterinary Loxodon. I think that's a better play than waiting on the Skyline Scout.
Okay.
Is it tapping correctly? Yeah, okay, good. And then, yep, the Loxodon.
Okay, what do we got?
I just say B. No, I didn't. Yeah, just go aggressive here. Go with the Barging Sergeant and then just swing in.
Okay. Let's do that.
I mean, look how well this curved out. And I know we got a little bit lucky, found the things we wanted. I don't know if you needed the land. Is the land significant here? I think you just hold the land back. I don't think it's. Yeah. But this curved out insanely well. Found everything we needed. This was a great Naya hand for sure. It's exactly how Naya wants to play out. Yeah, just lethal swing.
Just come on in.
Yep. I'd pump up the district guide with the Centaur or Sergeant. The Sergeant will most likely get blocked, and same with the 2/2.
Okay. That way everybody takes out that 3/4, no matter how he cuts it.
Oh, well, I disagree with how he's blocking. The 2/2 should go on the 4/2, and the 3/4 should just block one of the 2/2s.
Yeah.
And especially like a Pelt Collector, I understand trying to pump up the Pelt Collector, but it's insignificant. We have the game with the punch next turn. So without blocking, yeah, that's why he's swinging for lethal. And
all right. Well, I'll keep my. I don't even really need to keep my. I don't even.
You don't need to. You can play it either way. Doesn't matter. Because you have the game next turn, barring something crazy like dropping a Swamp and a Find Finality. Would have wiped your board, but.
Yep. There they go. There they go.
Yeah. I mean, that was Mold of 4, but still, that was a hand that would be very tough for any deck to beat.
Felt good. Felt real smooth.
Didn't have too many like 2-drops that just got in the way at that point. You know, the curve was great. 3, a 4, a 5 drop. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's a pretty good land base.
Yeah, stuck on some 4-drops. Iron Shell Beetle, though, can play defensive till we find it. Actually, Iron Shell Beetle will probably end up being played turn 3. That's interesting, actually. Yeah, that's fine.
So, I'll, yeah, if you want to get the plaza down and then...
I would, unless something like you really need to... Nope, now does the plaza need to come down here? We want Iron Shell Beetle into champion? No, I still think the plaza is the safer route.
Yeah.
Beetle usually wants a target, too. Like a better
Beetle,
target.
Can't really stop that 2/1.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's not doing anything in fresh face recruit because it's got first strike on their turn. Double recruits.
Okay. I don't need my red yet.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. And the
Uh,
champion.
okay. Champion it out.
And again, you're not going to be able to stop the fresh face recruits, but they're going to hopefully run out of gas.
Yeah. Ooh. That guy kind of beats my champion a little bit.
Not really. Like, your champion's actually better at creating tokens than that is.
Yeah. It's 2/2 tokens though. All right. Siege Worm. My man.
Yeah, probably this Wood Shaper or the Ceratok plays better defense at the moment.
Yeah, given what's on the board.
Uh-huh. You probably do need to conserve a little bit of a life total.
Yep. No, I'm all about that and for that.
I mean, it is Celestia, or it is Naya as well.
So I think I'll hold back.
Yeah. Your opponent definitely would probably would want to trade a guild mage for a champion. Kind of weird they did a redundant ability on 2 cards. Because what does a champion create? Oh, it creates a 1/1. Yep, for 1 less mana.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm behind on life.
Didn't decide to swing in. Okay. Yeah, this is fine.
What is okay? I haven't really read Night of Autumn. But,
you could go for Siege Worm here off the Convoke. Okay. Or you could go, I still think maybe the Night of Autumn plus the Iron Shell Beetle is correct. No, you can't. Yes, you can. You have the mana for it. That is also fine. You know, giving your Autumn, I think wants to come out as a big creature rather than 4 life. I don't think you're in any. You've stabilized. I don't think you're in any hurry for or. Yeah, I mean the guild mage is going to be a problem that needs to be taken care of before just flood. But what I really like about this deck is we do have the punches. If this goes really late.
Yeah, I think I would do Knight and then put the Beetle plus on either the Knight or the 4/3 to make it a little tougher.
Yep. Yeah, they're both 4/3s at this point, so either one of them's fine.
It's cooler on my Knight.
All right. Yep. Yeah, swinging the Ceratok there. I don't know if that was correct or not. Double striker.
Sorry, you said I maybe should have got in with
this is easily the Indrik. Killed the double striker.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that guy he's a meanie. Let's give him some affection.
Yep. And that came out right on time. The curve was great. You're starting to outclass. You see the fresh face recruits have already fallen off. Yeah, I kind of like attacking with the Ceratoks here because we do want to get our opponent down damage, and if they want to trade, they have to take a 2. It's a 2 for 1. This is pretty 50-50 on the attack here.
I'm kind of in attacking with the Knight and Ceratok.
That's fine. Yep. I mean, the Knight will most likely be double blocked by the fresh face recruits, but it will get that out of the way, that option out of the way. So, and you want to go the lead. Yeah, the champion probably doesn't want to be traded. Wow. I wonder if there's some sort of pump spell. I mean, that's like really. No, maybe not. And here is another bomb of a card. This is pretty much, I mean, you want the Light of Legion out. It's just crazy good. Yeah, that's amazing. That's a.
I think I should attack first and then.
No. That gives him vigilance.
Oh, it gives him vigilance?
Oh no, it doesn't. That's the wrong card I'm thinking of. Never mind. Yeah, that's fine. You can attack first.
Well, I could press the issue here, so I just come in for lethal.
Your opponent can make a 2/2.
Anytime.
Yep. But yeah, tagging with the 5/4, the 4/3, the 4/4 is still fine. It's still fine.
How about these 3?
Yep, that's fine. That's exactly how to do it. And I'm sure. Yep, I thought that was coming. It's going to create a 2/2, but it's all the mana used for the turn and going to lose a fresh face recruit and still get in for a whopping 8 points of damage. That is meaning lethal next turn with the flyer. Right? That thing flies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good card. And yeah, so
Low Angel.
that's that. I mean, it's going to be hard to stop that Light of Legion and deal with damage very quick. Whew.
Yeah. So a lot of this came from your decision of like, there's a lot of top end you wanted to play.
Yeah.
I mean, you put that Angel, you put the Worm. You know, I mean, you went for it. So it's given it to us.
I really wish I would have taped one of my pre-releases I played in that I won. Most awful pool ever. Just horrible. Chose Golgari. Didn't want to give me any Golgari stuff. Mm-hmm. So I ended up thinking, okay, what's the best way I can recover this pool? Curve out, curve out, curve out, curve out. And so I played a bunch of Golgari Bears and then made sure to then play a 4, a 3, a 4, and a 5-drop, and then top heavy or bottom heavy at the 2. So I had a game plan and a curve plan and a mana base plan, all specifically to do the only way I'd ever win. And it ran so smoothly, and I was able to win the pre-release. Mind, it was a 4-round pre-release, but because of it, because I was just utilizing my mana better than my opponents were. And this is what this kind of deck is. It's nothing special. There's a few bombs here, for sure. But there's nothing like... There's no fine finality in this list. There's nothing that's just going to outright win you the game. So, but the curve has been amazing. Yeah, I thought Bound of Phantasm was a great card.
Oh, that's a good card. Yeah, and I think a big choice that was interesting, the Xray pick is 18 lands. Like every time I ran it, it just kept going back to 18 lands, and I'm really happy with that because I feel like I'm getting there.
18 is probably where the deck wants to be to guarantee those 6-drop. The 6-drop comes out on time, and the 5-drops come out on time.
Yeah,
I mean 17 with the Boros, the Boros. What do they call them? Locket. I mean, a lot of people might think it's overkill, but more mana in this type of deck is not necessarily a bad thing. We do have one mana dump out. Jeez, your opponent's pool is amazing. You're playing against a constructed deck.
God, I hope he doesn't start surveilling a lot.
Yeah, I know. I think that you do attack the Skyline Scout and don't give it flying, just because I think that trading with either one of these is in your best interest.
Thanks for the advice there.
And if your opponent wants to trade with that Thoughtbound Phantasm, maybe they just don't have Surveil payoffs, but yeah, there we go. Yep, the Sworn Companions.
They're ready to get their long time value.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a nutty turn 1, turn 2. Because now if they go like Notion, whatever the Notion card is, pump both of them up. Ugh. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But the good news with your deck, too, if you can get in some early damage versus Dimir decks, those, both Risk Factor and the Gravitic Punch is something that could easily steal the game.
I hope so.
You are playing against Richard Hammer, though, so a name like that.
All right, so...
No undertones to that name. Yeah. Oh wow, that's rough.
Yeah, here they come.
Well, the Phantasm can attack for a while, but it is gonna kind of roadblock you from attacking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a decent card too. I still think it's the Wood Shaper here.
Okay, just in case I need you. Well, I'll use all my mana, but also.
Yeah, using your mana is correctly here. The more mana, the merrier. It's just going to be a 2/2 that could get in for some damage if you tap creatures. I don't know how well we value that. But next turn, if we draw a land, we can go with Skyline Scout and the Champion. So I think Wood Shaper is just slightly better here.
We could sure land right here if we... Oh, you can't get land. You just get...
Yeah, just get the Light of Legion.
You
That's
think
good.
light?
Over Centaur or Sergeant, absolutely. We're close to casting it. We're probably closer to casting the Sergeant than we are closer to casting the Light of Legion than the Sergeant because we already have options. So yeah,
Yeah.
just no
No.
attackers.
Yeah, I guess we got to stop that flyer
We
somehow.
have the Siege Worm coming out. Your opponent missed a land drop last turn. No, they hit it this turn though.
Siege Worm's not bad.
Yeah, Siege Worm's gonna definitely. Well, I said it was gonna require an answer, but now you can attack into a 4/4 and a 1/4.
It's gonna be more than that. It's it's
No,
just whenever.
it only gets one trigger.
Okay, it's based
Yeah.
on just the fact that it happened, not each instance.
Like I said, this your opponent has an incredibly good deck. I mean, it's tough. Usually, when in sealed pools with Dimir, I'd get a bunch of surveil cards with no surveil payoffs, or a bunch of surveil payoffs with not enough surveil cards. This looks like your opponent has the sweet spot of both.
Yeah, and something we're going to work on at Xray is being able to say something's an engine, something's fuel, there's a payoff, etc.
Perfect.
So we're a ways away from that, but when we
I
can set that up,
think
it should be interesting what it comes up with. Okay, so what do we got here?
Champion Skyline's fine, or Siege Worm. I like Champion Skyline.
Not getting the Siege Worm out.
And then that leaves us with 5. Yeah, that leaves us with being able to cast the Forger next turn. And is that close? Say 5, 6, 7. That allows us to do a Forger if we drop a land next turn. To do.
Next turn, I'm dropping Light of Legion.
Yeah, this is pretty. The Dimir Informant's not attacking in. The Thoughtbound Phantasm's not attacking in. The Siege Worm can't attack in to the Phantasm or the Informant. So I think that just having the Skyline and the Champion is fine, just to increase the mana. The more, I mean, you could go Forger. What's a Forger's a 4, isn't it? No. Forger though gets value out of cards in your graveyard. So I'd go the Scout and the Champion.
Better get something down before my turn goes away.
Yeah, and then not attacking with anything, unfortunately. So. Still in pretty. What did your opponent put in the graveyard? So they're desperately looking for lands because they threw away a Centipede and a. Oh wow. Okay, so that's really good with surveil decks. That's not what you want to be doing. My experience with playing Dimir is you want to be chucking lands away as much as possible, and when you're digging for lands, because surveil decks I usually play 17, 18 lands with surveil decks because the options are there to throw things away. Say, awesome, deadweight. Deadweight just gets rid of that. That's fine.
Yeah, and man, I just realized this guy's been operating off of 3 lands. Like he's scaring the heck out of me on 3
Yeah,
lands.
he's got a 3/3 flyer. It's rough.
It's amazing.
Yeah, well, a turn 1 just huge roadblock into a turn 2 that's been getting bigger and bigger is yeah, it's pretty scary.
It's a very scary mosquito-y looking.
Yeah, so I think Siege Worm, if you don't hit a land, is the right play, and then trading a Siege Worm for a Thoughtbound Phantasm. All right, it's gonna be Light of Legion though. That just made it. Ooh, our opponent could have the Surveil counter spell. Nope, doesn't have it. Yep, it's fine. No attackers here. Good news too is if your opponent does kill the Light of Legion, it pumps up all your creatures. And I don't know if that's really gonna do much, but. Just a 3/3 flyer is good in this format. We didn't get anything else that really... No reach cards, no flying. The Crush of Canopy, unfortunately, can't be run main, and there is no sideboard for a 1 game.
Yeah, it's really weird not being able to sideboard.
Yeah, there's a draft right now that's a competitive draft, but that was kind of the worst case scenario because now it gets no value.
Well, I've got that 1 card that comes down the green-white, and it can kill an enchantment.
Yep.
Do I just... Do I want to get this red down in case I get a hasty red creature?
Yeah, you're going to put the Boros Guildgate down for sure here. And then can you do both the Forger and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? No, you can't. I just think the Siege Worm. Wish it was a Siege Rhino. Siege Worm, though, is fine here.
All right, Siege Worm.
Yep. And you want to get in for 2 damage is the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, tap everything besides the Skyline Scout and then get in for 2 damage with the Skyline Scout.
Mm.
That's the line.
Just because those others aren't getting
Well, they're
in.
not attack. He can't attack with the Phantasm yet, and Dimir Informant's not going to attack into your worm. So tap all the forests and the Wood Shaper. And then that leaves back 2 mana, and then you can attack in with the Scout, and at least it can get your opponent down a bit.
There you go. All the mana used up.
And there's still, you have 2 cards in the grave. No, you only have 1 card in the graveyard, right? Yep, or 1 creature. So the Forager is only going to gain 1 life. It might be... it sucks that the Informant can take care of a 2-drop.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, a 2-power right now. Best case scenario is a Loxodon or the Knight off the top to either gain you life or kill the capture. Probably kill that.
My affectionate guy or the my 1 white removal can get rid of that flyer.
That was a pretty nutty hand again by your opponent. They kept a very, very loose hand with 2 mana, missed the land drop, but then hit it. Ooh. Get it go on the Informant, huh? Yeah, because that pumps up the Spy Bug. You also do have 1 removal spell, and if you do remove the Spy Bug, I mean, this is anyone's game at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be a hard-fought game, but this is some major damage coming in.
Yep.
I'm at 9. He could play one of those black... Ooh.
You make that trade, right? Ooh, or... Yeah, you have to make the trade. It's lethal. It's lethal if not. Yep.
There you go.
I mean, that's actually pretty good, though. But, I mean, you basically have to top deck. You have to get in with life linkers here.
I gotta get in with them.
I would attack with everything. Block with the Wood Shaper, and then you gain 2 life off the Forager, and then you still are fine on the backswing. And you can still use your mana for the Skyline Scout.
Yeah, I didn't want to fly.
So, I mean, that's the one out you have of coming back.
Yeah, just gain enough life and put a little extra in my grave, bring down the Forager, and gain a little more life.
I mean, the opponent can also recast their spell to copy a Informant again to pump up the Spy Bug to 5. Okay, so our opponent is playing how we want it to play, though. Yeah, Forager has to come down here. You gain 2 life, go up to a 8.
I'm just going to keep the forest in my hand.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, because you do have the risk factor and everything. I mean, that's not I mean, we're still in terrible shape. Man, that was a very, very good hand, though. A lot of high-impact cards. Well, I'm definitely okay losing this match to that.
Yeah, no, it's...
I mean, I'd like to play this one again because I don't think the opponent's going to have that scenario very often. Of having a third turn surveil card, a first turn 1-drop, 2-drop surveil. Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah, this is my first time to really experience.
The Foragers have reach. It doesn't have reach, does it?
So maybe it was a mistake to not keep one of my 1/1s back to block his 5/5.
I don't know. I don't know if that really... It gave you a scenario you actually wanted. You wanted that 5/5 out of the way. You would have surveilled one more time, it's a 6/6, and then you're really trading down.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It doesn't just disappear on me, does it?
So, I mean, your opponent has given you the scenarios that you specifically wanted. However, yeah, I thought that, definitely thought that was the line that's going to go because you had surveil again.
Those 1/4s are nothing to sneeze at either. Like for stopping the board, you know?
Yeah.
You
down to 4, 1 draw. Does that stabilizes you? No, it
How so?
doesn't. No, it doesn't because you can't. You have to right here. You have to get your. You just have to gain life with your 2 life linkers. So you attack into the 2 life linkers. They die to the informants. That puts you at a 6. The spy bug attacks and puts you at a 1. And you have. Unfortunately, you can't tap your forager or your scout.
Yeah, I can't.
So you just have to. Yeah, just have to lock it on here. And you can play it second main phase, so attack first. Because your opponent could be thinking that you're holding back a pump spell. But, I mean, they shouldn't, but... And again, it gives you 1 more turn to draw that Conclave. And if you draw the Conclave, I don't think you have another out besides the Conclave.
No, and my affectionate guy won't take care of this guy either.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Oh, actually, it will because my angel. Oh no! The affectionate guy does. All right, I'm holding on to this land.
Yeah, but we did have some sideboard options like the 4 destroy target creature with 4 toughness or greater, or a crushing canopy. But unfortunately, I don't think either of those are something you can put in a main. Those are a sideboard card, and it makes it kind of difficult for these 1-match games.
Yeah. Oh.
It's still not lethal because you can pull off. Oh yeah, it is lethal. Never mind. It's way lethal because it surveils it. Yep. Wow, that is a pretty strong sealed pool. That is a very strong sealed pool.
Well, I'm going to let him do the attacking because, I mean, he's got to do it, right?
Yep. Yep.
All right, there it goes. I've been defeated.
You have been defeated, but I'm okay losing a deck match versus something like that. I mean, there's no other way you could play it. Your deck's still curved really well. Besides, though, evasive flyer. Remember, take that scenario away. Take the Dimir Spybug out of the equation, and we're still 20 life drawing cards at that point. Now you're going against Buck Nasty 69 of 1989. Whew. These usernames.
Yeah. This first one, we're gonna get an extra draw, but I'm feeling like a mole here.
Yeah, unfortunately. Can only sort of cast 1 card without the mercy of a plains.
Yeah. I like the power level of the concave tribunal.
Yeah, you got a lot of your good cards here, but yeah, unfortunately.
Well, I'll get 1 scry.
And 2 draws.
Mm-hmm.
It's iffy.
These aren't great, but I don't know. What do you think?
I don't. You have a Celestia Guildgate, a Boros Guildgate, a Boros Locket for fixing another gate. I don't know. Either I'm okay either way.
I'm really torn. This is where I'm an average Magic player. This is where I'd like to go.
Oh, this is where you could throw it through the little mulligan game. But
yeah, I tell you what, I took a screenshot.
Yep.
We can come back to this. I'm gonna keep because we have 2 draws and a scry.
Yep, that's fine. I'm okay with that. And that unfortunately scried away just because we have to desperately hit the land. And it's again we have 16 out of what 50. 54 50 no 53 because we have 1 on the bottom. No, 53. I'm thinking of a constructed deck. We have 16 out of 33. So yeah,
but not really. I mean, like all
the white doesn't count. But I mean, because we have to take 2 mountains and 4 plains out of that scenario. So you're right, but they still help. So yeah, I think it was Celestia, and it was 10. So we have 11, I believe. 11 out of per draw. And we still have 2 draws. So, I mean, statistically speaking, you should have got there. Unfortunately, now it's looking pretty dire.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm not looking at Boros on the other side.
Yeah, you got time.
I'm gonna hate.
Yeah, a generous Xray too isn't a threat.
Yeah, it's not great.
And still, I mean, still hitting a land drop. That's really all you can ask for.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go runner land that isn't a forest, there's still a barging sergeant.
Did he miss his land drop?
Unless they're playing it. Nope.
Okay.
I mean, look at that. I mean, it's still in it.
Huh.
That's a hard card to beat. Your opponent can only do 1 per turn. But you have a card that can answer that. Oh no, that's not on the bottom. Is the knight on the bottom, or is the champion on the bottom? I think the champion was on the bottom. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So we still have the out to be able to kill it with the.
Oh, thank God.
Hey, look at that! We drew out.
In time.
And I think is throw out the sergeant and tack in. Is there any instant speed removal? Yes, there is. There's an instant speed removal. So you have 2 options. Try to bait out an instant speed removal with something like Wood Shaper. But I think barging sergeant's fine here. Your opponent puts out a 1/1 to block it. Can't draw the card off the life gain. Or the other option is just to go Ceratox or Wood Shaper. But that's bad. Like, that's not using your mana appropriately. So Sergeant, though, has haste. It can attack this turn, get in there. There is a flash 3/2 creature. So possibilities, there's 2 instant speed cards, price of something that's surveil 2 and destroy a creature instant speed. And there's also the 4 mana, it's a Golgari card. 4 mana destroy a creature, artifact, or enchantment. Your opponent's going to just let you know that you can attack, So I'll attack here. Yep.
Yeah, he's just going to come in with lifelink.
That's in draw card, sure. I still think that's worthwhile to make your opponent tap a card and use resources, in my opinion.
Yeah. I can't wait to have something like, I guess the beetle can come down on the sergeant.
Yep. Yeah, Beetle, that's what's awesome about Beetle, is it works really well with Mentor.
Yeah, but I guess I want to play my wood shaper. Oof. Guys, all about drawing some cards.
Beetle can get in, but Beetle and Scout can get in for another 5 and leave back a Scout and a 1/1 Beetle that can trade with a lifelinker. That's not a bad play.
Beetle and a Skyline Scout?
Yep. So Beetle on the Sergeant. Your opponent can just chump block with a Stray, but it's something that's got to get out of the way eventually for you to get in for the damage. Yeah, I think I like that play.
I'll come back in a second moment with.
I'm sure the Generous Stray is just going to get eaten here. Good news is your opponent seems to have set up a deck that's pretty value. The bad news is you didn't apply a lot of pressure. But when looking at your hand and knowing what's still in the deck, there are some very powerful cards yet to come. The punch, the risk factor.
I feel a lot better with the blocker now.
Yeah, and even next turn you have another option to go Barging Sergeant in with the Skyline Scout, pump up the Skyline Scout to a 3/2 with flying, and then also throw out a Dissident. So again, your opponent's option here is to try to attack in to get a draw, but then loses the ability to make a lifelinker.
Man, I just realized that's a colon. That's not a tap. That's just so amazing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Again, options here. Don't like attacking in because the Sergeant just gets chump blocked by all 3, I would assume.
That's
So
okay. I still would have left a +1 counter and mentored the scout.
yeah, and got rid of 3 things, but they're not renewable resource already paid off. I don't know. I think something even like the either just chucking out a big siege worm or the wood shaper here is fine. Can you do dissident and siege worm? Yes. Yes, you can do dissident and siege worm. That's probably the play.
Do I need to play dissident first?
Yeah, dissident has to be played first, and then that gives you enough for siege worm.
Right. Wait. Okay, I was like, that's not enough, and then I forgot it's coming down. There we go. Just pay it with my creatures.
And unfortunately, your opponent's going to get a 1/1. And who knows what other goodies are just in your opponent's hand. They're able to draw 2 cards. 3 cards over you.
He's going to have enough land to start doing that twice.
Light of Legion, though, is still a card that's going to be difficult for your opponent to answer. I mean, this game is definitely going to go the distance. It's going to come down whether or not that... Oh, man, they blew that early. They blew that really early. I think Lurcher is something that... I mean, maybe I get it. Hold back a lifelinker.
Oh, my God. Conclave.
Yeah, I think I would take care of that. So tap everything but the siege worm probably. Take care of that enchantment. Just get it out of the way. It's going to continue to grind and grind and grind and grind.
I kind of feel like taking it out, but maybe not with my creatures. You just want me to convoke instead of a big smashy attack?
Oh, cast the wood shaper first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then that allows you to convoke the wood shaper, the beetle, the dissident, and the scout.
Oh, right. I didn't catch that line. That's really nice.
And then
I can still smash him with my.
And this is also giving you more information. So if, for example, you with the wood shaper here, you grab the knight, then maybe you don't need to jam the conclave tribunal. Because what's one more token? What's 2 more tokens in the scope of things?
Right. Okay.
Or there's that card that you can go for this play this turn. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you can do 4 creatures. Ooh. Well, you can actually do Conclave Tribunal and 3 No, you don't have the mana for it. I still think Conclave Tribunal.
Yeah, I'm gonna Conclave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that out of the way. Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah, and you just need to tap the Guild Gate. Yep, there you go. And then just, yep.
All right.
Unfortunately, if there's a bigger bomb in your opponent's hand, you're kind of left with no answers now.
Yeah, but the way they're going to get to that bigger bomb is drawing these stupid cards off this thing.
Now the question is, do you want to trade the Siege Worm for all of the creatures? I think you might want to attack in with the Siege Worm. You'd lose a lifelinker, a lifelinker, a lifelinker, and a 3/3.
Yeah, I'm thinking about my other 5/3 as well.
That only gets chump blocked by a 3/3.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's not worth it.
That's true.
I think your opponent just lets this go through. Oh yeah, there's that line too. That's fine. Oh, your opponent's can actually give you options though. Awesome. Yeah, just take out 2 life. Well, I take out the 3 life linkers in the Xray. Yeah, just how it's ordered. The 5/3. No, you don't want chump blockers. I'd keep it the way it is. That 3/3 is not a threat. It can block your guy, but your guy's gonna become a 6/4. So as many chump blockers out of the way as possible. It's also an Abzan deck, or Abzan, which has a lot of ways to pump creatures, and especially if your opponent's running generous strays and things like that, I think that they're probably running other pumpable ways to get value out of it. So to me, that was a very, very good trade. It's a 4-for-1. And your biggest concern right now is to get these things out of the way. Now, if we draw into Gravatic Punch, we still have the Sergeant. And that is a 6/6 flyer, huh? There's that many gates? And a 2/2 Death Toucher.
Oh, he's really got... All right. That's not fun.
Well, now you have your 5/5 flyer. That then can be pumped up by a Loxodon. No, this is fine. You're fine. So you have a 6/6 flyer as well. So I'd put the forest. Do you need to play the forest or keep it up for a jump start? I think by that time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so Light of Legion first.
Yeah, get my Angel out, and then that way I can use a tap Loxodon and get it pumped up.
Tap the Sergeant, the Skyline Scout, the Light of Legion, and then probably the Dissident.
That's, okay. They don't have to be white. That's
I would tap, yeah, and I'd tap the Wood Shaper. I'd leave the Beetle as the only one that you didn't tap. Because you can take damage too. It's not that big of a deal.
Sergeant. The what else are you saying?
Everything but the Beetle.
But the Beetle, okay. Because I need all 5.
Yeah, and you want all 5 anyway because boom. Yeah, it's a game. This game is gonna go the distance. And then no attackers. Yeah, so depends if your opponent wants to attack him with the Gargoyle. I think that's... Does your Light of Legion doesn't have Vigilance, so that I'm thinking of a different card that... So could be a tick for attack game, but your opponent has 4 cards is the problem. Like I think even Light of Legion defensively is the right thing because the Gatekeeper kills the Light of Legion, then all your creatures get another +1/+1 counter.
That's another way to bring the Sergeant. I guess this is where you want your 5/2 guy, you know, because I'd love for my Light of Legion to get even bigger, but that's kind of needy. Oh, what's he doing? He's doing mana.
That seems really early too to get 2 creatures. The thing is, you can sacrifice them to draw cards.
Okay, so these don't have Death Touch or anything, huh? Okay.
All right. Well, the Knight of Autumn can just kill the Gargoyle.
Oh, because it's an artifact.
Yep.
Cool. I think that's a good ticket to get in.
And you might just want to even Alpha Swing here.
Nope. I'm going to kill that Gargoyle.
Yeah, I know. You're going to kill the Gargoyle first and then possibly just Alpha Swing.
Yeah. Destroy artifact or enchantment. Whew, what a good card.
Wonder if Simic can have a +1/+1. Probably will when Simic comes out, and it's going to make a lot of these Celestia cards pair with Simic very well. Your opponent's just going to eat it in response, which, yeah. So you lose the Gorgon will kill the Sergeant if you attack in. The Loxodon definitely looks like it's an attack in. Ooh, maybe you just attack into the Light of Legion. I don't know if the Sergeant wants to come in. Because the Gorgon could be a trade for the Loxodon, which at this point I think might be decent. The other case scenario is a 3/3 and a 1/1.
Why is the Gorgon going to trade with the Loxodon?
I'm just saying it could, theoretically. It's a Death Toucher.
Oh, okay, got it.
So I just do the Loxodon and the Legion. Because all of these are basically card draw for your opponent. I don't think you're going with the Sergeant because that absolutely gets just chump blocked by the Gorgon.
Yeah, but then I could have pumped the Loxodon up.
Alpha Swing's kind of weird because Zoni gets to kill one of the 3/3s. So I would just say the Loxodon and the Legion here, unless you feel like you absolutely need to Alpha Strike here. And you can do the Skyline Scout. You can do the Scout as well. Yeah.
And I could do Mentor and pump Scout up. I mean the Sergeant.
That's okay. I mean if that's the case, I'd attack with everything though.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, the other one's Mentor.
That is Mentor. Yeah. Yes, that's fine. That's 10 damage. Wow. And not a lot of Azoni can do some work here, but that's still pretty mana intensive to try to dig for a removal spell. Worst case scenario again is just the Fine Finality.
I forgot. If he can't do it, the Scout gets Mentored again, and that's 11.
That
between
is
the
true. That is
angel.
true. Well, that pumps up all your creatures. So I don't know. That might just be lethal anyway. With getting rid of
Oh God.
How come that didn't pump up your beetle?
It's white creatures.
Oh, white creatures. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. He's got 4 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 are getting through.
So the Pitted Scorgon's going to go on the Raging Sergeant. The Thousand-Eyed is going to go on your Knight of Autumn unless you pump it up. And the Lurcher is just going to have to chump block something else. I think this is an alpha swing here. Yeah. Cool, it's your go, is what your opponent says.
Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking, dude. All right, so get the beetle in too.
Yeah, might as well. I don't think they're blocking it. Yeah, they don't have the. So I would pump up the scout gets through no matter what. I would make it a worse target. So something like the woodlet. I'd do it on the wood shaper. That's the best one to throw it on.
Make him survive, and then I can still pump. I can pump this guy.
Well, you want to give it flying for sure. The Skyline Scout flying. Yeah, because there's no point not to.
Okay, right. Get in no matter what. Okay. Oh, that's a shame I didn't leave my land, because then I could have pumped as well.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that thing can pump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could have been my pump right there.
Yeah, but you can do Ceratoxes. Yeah, that's better.
I'm so used to playing my lands after, but I should have calculated that. Still pretty devastating.
You should spam your go now because your opponent did it to you. Do you see I'm such a jerk? Eats the 1/1 to gain a life. Goes to a 1. Yeah, just play the Ceratox. I'd keep your planes though, just in case you get a jump start.
Yeah. I think no matter what I play, I don't need to jump start it.
Yeah, you do. You might. Who
knows?
I'm saying,
no matter what comes out of my hand, the
risk factor, you'll draw cards and it's something you can still jump start again. Geez, that's a lot of generous strays.
It is. It really is. Any comments?
Opponent has to play a removal spell though here, or they lose.
I mean, I'd rather be in my situation.
The Skyline Scout just wins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Now your opponent might just decide to spend all the time in the world that they know they're dead. Arena players are pretty bad-mannered, I've noticed. Like, really bad-mannered. I would say it's almost 50% of everyone I go up against is... maybe not that high, but it's almost like every league you get one person that for whatever reason gets upset and goes through their time before they play it out.
I just like playing Magic, and go ahead. I mean, he's got a ton of mana and a ton of cards. Maybe he's got
well, yeah, you're right. A lot more.
He's got that one. If you had that one card that kills everything with.
Oh no, I'm okay with trying to play it out, but I'm saying that like what ends up happening a lot of times with arena players is they know they're dead and they'll just sit and wait for their timeout.
Yeah, that would be pretty annoying.
Rather than try to dig for something. Of course, try to dig for something. I don't think an opponent should scoop here. They should make you play it out, but. But I mean,
I love it. He's only got 2 mana left.
Oh, there's a blocker, but it's not enough to stop lethal from coming in with just a pure attack. Yep, just combat, swing, everything.
Okay.
No point. It has to block it no matter what. So.
Yeah. Make sure it's the imp.
Well, I mean, it has to. They have to block the imp either way. Oh, I'm gonna kill some creatures for their daily. Hopefully,
Whoa, negative
maybe their
12.
daily was to kill 20 creatures. Again, that worked out. We of course got a little bit lucky by drawing out of it, but as soon as we got the mana, wow, did this deck just churn?
Nice, nice. All right, let's see how we're doing in our league. Ooh, a pack and
Yep, 4-1. Not too shabby.
Oh, let's see, I didn't read the card right now. Okay.
Perfect timing.
Zach
with a Teferi profile, the worst.
All right, Teferi looks tough, man. You can't. All right.
Yeah, but it's Teferi. That card is going to ruin Standard for another year.
So I know I don't have the white, but I like having lands.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those that's right on the verge. You need double with the light. The Venerate Loxodon's one of your best cards in the deck. The Indrik will definitely get you out of some tricky situations. I think it's fine.
I'm gonna keep hoping that
You have two guild gates that really fix ideally here, both of them. And you have the locket. We still haven't seen a locket played at all.
I know.
Been buried in your deck. I don't know if we forgot to put it in or not. I don't think, no, it's in there.
Wish there's a button. You could just look at your deck list, not your...
Hey, look at that. There we go.
Nice.
And get a... I don't think you get a guild gate. I think you just get a white source. Because you want to play a card next turn.
That's true.
So just get a plains. And you need, unless it said, like, you need double plains here is the only thing. You have your red, you have your 2 green.
Yeah, so I'm feeling great. I kept this on just bulk land drops.
Your opponent's going to help you out by hitting themselves for 2. They'll be down by 16 with the attack in. And you have a Ceratok that's coming out that's going to apply pressure.
Yeah, it's true. Nice card, though. You get to look at a lot of cards.
And it has to discard a card, too, because your opponent forgot they were on the draw. Not the play. You can't play a draw spell. You can't play a devastation. Oh, wow. Did they just throw that card away, too? Look at the card they threw away. Card's unbeatable. It's so good. And they're 1 off or 2 mana off. I don't think they're that desperate to... I don't understand that. What in the world is more powerful than... Oh, well, quit worrying about it. But you just go the Ceratox here. Yeah. Back in. Underrealm Lich is amazing. You cannot mill out when you have an Underrealm Lich either. It's a replacement effect that you never draw again.
Well, let's hope that they don't have
a way to... that's why. Okay, that makes more sense.
I was just saying, they don't have a way to recur that back out. Okay. Double white. I'll get my double white down.
Yeah, this is interesting here. I don't know. I don't know if you want the Loxodon quite yet. I'd like Loxodon after Light of Legion again. The Guardian can just be... You don't trade the Ceratox with the Fine Broker. That also seems pretty bad. Yeah, Loxodon's just too early.
I'd like to get my +1 counter.
Yeah, Guardian's all right. Just hard cast a Guardian. No Convoke.
Okay.
Next turn it's not going to be the Lich is going to be tough.
Yeah.
But you have a flyer that Lich has to... The Lich is just going to set up a lot of draws. So, I mean, best case scenario, you can...
So don't trade?
No, I don't... Well, it's up to you. Your card is going to get bigger with the Venerated Loxodon. I don't think so. But then it also leaves it open to... Because you can cast the Loxodon not quite next turn, but you can go like Indrik, kill off the Fine Broker, and Loxodon on the following turn while simultaneously pumping up the Light of Legion. And the Indrik after it fights. So you're going to be left with a 5/5, a 5/4, a 3/4 and a 6/6 flyer with that play.
Liches are scary.
And I don't know why your opponent decided to go for a 3/1 flyer rather than a lich there. That seems pretty unreasonable. So,
right.
Light of Legion.
Yeah.
And no attacks.
Yeah. Just patient game, trying to.
Yeah, because next turn's a very, very good trade for you. You get to kill a 3/1 flyer or a Fine Broker. I'm under the impression that the Fine Broker is a better card to kill just because of that. The butt on the Fine Broker is stopping a 2/4, it's stopping a 2/2, it's stopping a 4/3. The Lich, however, even though it can give itself indestructible, is a 4 life per activation, already down to 16. That's only 4 activations.
I like killing the flyer potentially.
I don't, because the flyer's not really doing anything. It's just stuck. Yeah. It's a 3/1. It trades horribly with even a district guide. I mean, this turn most likely is either going to be remove your Light of Legion with a removal spell, or it's going to be casting the Lich.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Too bad they not more white creatures down.
Still, that's a 2-for-1. Your opponent had to use a 3/1 and so had to use, what, 8 mana there to kill it?
Mm-hmm.
So Indrik...
I could probably just keep that forest in my hand.
Yeah, I will. Just definitely cast Indrik, kill the Fine Broker.
Just pound him.
And then you have to decide, do I want +1/+1 counters on cards, or do I want, what is that, 9 damage? So I think 9 damage is probably the right play. Oh, you can't even +1/+1 anymore because your creature died. Yeah, so that's fine. I guess you could if you played the land. So what is better, pumping up your creatures here?
Or 9 damage?
Or 9 damage.
I think I'll take the tempo of 9 damage.
Yeah, I agree. You can always pump up if there's a board state that isn't reasonable.
I like clearing the way. It reduces the Lich's ability.
And do we need to play a land? I don't think so.
I'm keeping it.
Yeah, all of your red cards now are so lethal if you draw them.
Yeah. Yeah, that Lich is just going to be hard to use if I just...
If your opponent puts out a Lich this turn, you just swing in and force the... No, Lich was just lethal. Your opponent tries to put out a Lich, they die.
Yeah, just have too much to go around it.
They just lose their Lich. Can't even use the activation. Yeah, that worked out well. Look at that curve. That curve was just amazing. Boom.
Well, yeah. It's weird to see such a scary card on the other side, and
the deck is good. The deck worked out incredibly well. I mean, what is it? 1 loss, and that loss was just because of an insane tempo draw.
I don't mean to brag, but I'm bronze tier 2 now.
Nice. Nice. Didn't even take you 1 league to get there.
No,
and you can claim an awesome card. Didn't even show you it. That's the arena bug.
I thought I could touch it and see.
Nope, it's the arena bug right now. Everyone's complaining about it. It happens. You have to like touch it really slowly. You have to be very gentle with it to show you what it is. And there's no history. Like they haven't programmed in a history of cards. Like people are like, well, just give us like a list of cards you've earned by everything else gives you a notification or some way to. Nope. There's a lot of work Arena still needs before I think it's ready to go into full mode or whatever.
Yep. Ooh, okay.
According to the Mulligan game, it was liking these hands.
I could remember. Yeah, it was liking all four.
Said it was still casting stuff rather than mulliganing.
I mean, I like the sheer volume of land and the fact that I have...
Celestia Guild Gate, regular gate, the multicolored gate, the Boros Locket, the Boros Guild Gate, and 5 planes gives you 9 outs, I believe. A District Guide gives you 10. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll keep it. I like this sheer volume of land,
and then you can still cast a bunch of stuff. You can still cast. Can't cast that.
And just see what we can do here. Yeah, it's not my favorite.
Yeah, of course not.
Dude, what is this? Sack.
And you drew out of it. Awesome, awesome. Now we have got a great curve. It's 3 damage for 4. It's a filler card for Celestia Light on removal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not where your opponent wants to be on turn 2 with the Celestia deck, I would assume. I mean, it's good. I mean, the longer these games go, there are very few decks I think that can outpace the potential. The red gives this deck so much reach, both the risk factor and the Gravatic Punch. I still think the 1 punch was the right call as well. And that's going to have to not even... I don't think your opponent even trades here. If they trade, I don't think that's a smart play.
Okay. Well,
yeah, attack in and throw out the companions.
Do I want to get the Guardian down instead?
No.
No?
Guardian can be reduced by the companions next turn. And possibly even the Loxodon. No, Loxodon that. Or we could go Loxodon. Yeah, I still think you go just the Dissonant and get out the Guardians. Because 2 damage here, or a card. And you still want the companions out.
Yeah, it's true. I forget they're like mana ramp too.
Fortunately, I drew 2 Sergeants, which is the hardest card to cast so far. That's also not threatening.
Oh, just till end of turn?
Uh-huh. So
I thought it was permanent.
I don't know. Just the Guardian. I mean, Loxodon could pump up your 2 creatures. You might want to give it 1 more turn to see if you can get even more value out of the Loxodon.
I like value.
Your opponent missed a land drop.
I like value. So tag with my 2/2?
No, I think it's strictly better than the 10th District Guard.
No, I'm saying like... I see. So yeah, if we wait 1 more turn, it could have threat of activation.
Yes, yeah. It's something, especially in a Celestia Mirror, it's something that can, you get to the point where you have 10 mana, and that is something that can, pump up. What is it, +4/+4 it pumps up to?
Yeah, 2/2.
Oh, +2/+2. It's still, yeah, so if it plus up, yeah, it would get up to a 6/6 if you really had to dump mana into it.
I feel like my music just got louder. I'm going to...
I don't have it on my end, so it's okay.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Nope.
I'm turning this down in case.
Nope. Yep, it's good. Yeah, there's a couple of the songs that are incredibly annoying. Ooh, so here this is fine. You can play the Scout and convoke them all. And your opponent blew their Venerated Loxodon too quickly, and now you get a Venerated Loxodon that's just better, more value. And everything but you gotta make which one do you the Skyline Scout? I would do everything but one of the life linkers.
I was thinking about everybody.
Oh no, you can do everything. Yeah, I was thinking you didn't have enough for everything, but you did. Like I thought it would be like 1 too much. Yep, everything is fine here. And if your opponent attacks in with the Loxodon, you just take it. Unfortunately, we have 2 dead cards in right now. That's the problem with splashing. There's only 6 ways to get that land, I believe, in our deck. So the District Guide, the 2 mountains, the 2 are 1 Guildgate, 1 Locket. Okay, so there's 4 ways. Locket, Guildgate, 2 mountains. District Guide.
It's not great.
No, but the vast majority of other cards that you draw into are playable. You only have 2 more dead cards left in your deck. Well, 3 counting the Angel. So 3 dead cards versus 6 live cards to help cast those things. That's going to be an annoying card to deal with because we're at a stalemate and that's 2 damage per turn. And speak of the devil.
I drew the angel.
Maybe the Skyline Scout attack in, and if your opponent wants to trade. I think that's the best route.
Okay.
The other route would be...
This guy's a 5/5 as well.
Yeah, but it'd just get blocked by the District Guide and the Generous Stray. And then you trade down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the Skyline Scout. Give it flying.
If I could wait for a mentor from the Sergeant.
I don't think your opponent's going to block the Skyline Scout with the patrol. And if they do, that kind of puts you...
Yeah.
That takes some pressure off.
Whoops.
Z. Yeah, there we go.
One of those has got to be white.
Yep.
There we go. Watch out for my green pump spell, man. He's scared. Well, you know, in a race, 3 versus
2. And the Mentor is not pumping up anything at the moment. You have a 3/5 that can block a 4/4. They have a pump spell, or just want that in the graveyard for something. It's...
I'm gonna block with both my life linkers.
That's fine. It gets a pump spell out, but then potentially that's fine.
Or
it's pumping up +3/+3 is what your opponent is. Basically.
Actually, I could do my 3/5 as well.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's got.
Could give it Death Touch, but it still just kills 2. And it's still 2. Yeah. Not a lot of things that I can think of. A +3/+3 can invoke a card.
I forgot. He's got the 3 damage over here.
Yeah, that's fine though. Yep.
His dart was so silent. I didn't hear it.
It's still getting rid of the silent dart. It's still... And just decided to trade with a nothing. He ordered it wrong.
Oh, lordy. I feel kind of bad.
Oh, no, didn't order it wrong. Nope. Goes for the Guardian. Yep.
Okay.
So that was the play. Is Foragers too early?
What is his body?
The attacking with the Dissident is fine here because...
Yeah.
And even attacking with the Loxodon, like you could attack with the Dissident, the Loxodon, and the Scout, and it puts it in a weird, like if your opponent blocks with the Patrol and the Guard on the Loxodon, you kill the Patrol, get rid of a flyer.
Yeah, but if I attack with the Scout and pay, you know, Dissident's not pumpable.
No, you can just attack with the Scout just because it might be worthwhile to even trade with the... Yeah, just attack with the Loxodon and the Dissident then.
Okay.
And I think that no matter what, you get the right cards out of the way. So I don't think the Patrol... At this point, I think a 4/4 versus a 2/3 Vigilance is my... Oh, perfect. So now you just pump up your Dissident.
Okay.
And a straight trade for a 4/4, and just a strict trade there. So... And a card in your graveyard for the Forager. If that really is that matter, it matters if we go to a race.
Yeah, it's just a little something.
Strays are annoying, but they're not really doing much. Hey, there we go.
All right. Good. My other way. Sorry, I have to keep telling my kid because not really following my directions, and I'm not really in there to enforce it. She knows my weakness. All right. I'm not trying to cast.
The Legion will be cast, but probably post attack phase. Here again, I don't think you even need to give the Skyline Scout flying, just attacking the Scout and the Dissident, and then that forces out a pump spell to trade the Dissident for a Stray or just. And which is fine at this point. I mean, the pump spells have to be, baited out eventually.
Yeah. And I'm happy them getting baited out right now before Angel comes out and pumps that flyer with I don't know what.
Yeah, exactly.
God, I can't wait to get a. Oh, let's see. Well, I don't think I'm going to pump.
No, you don't pump. It's Light of Legion that's coming out.
Yeah.
Still have yet to see a Locket out of 6-7 match.
Yeah.
Or we saw the Risk Factor game 1, but haven't seen Risk Factor since then. Or the Punch. Or did we see a Punch wing? I think we did. But still, that's crazy.
Look at stats and say, how often do we see it in a game? You know, it's
Crushing Canopy, a main boarded. But I mean, wow, just pumped up everything.
Oh, wow. I love this Angel so much now. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's a great card.
Those 3/3 life linkers.
Yeah, now it's kind of awkward for your opponent for sure.
Oh, what do we got here?
It pumps it up for 1 turn, gives something vigilance. So probably on the Stray, and attacking with the Stray. So what is the Stray at? You're covering what the Stray is. 4/5. Just let it go through. Let them both go through. It's not a 4/5 forever. It's just a 4/5 for 1 turn.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
So I'm gonna take 6. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, and it gave it vigilance as well.
Yes, but it's not that big of a deal. Forager. So you attack with the Dissonant first to see. Still attacking the Skyline Scout is fine and not bumping it. Well, can you put a land out and do both, right? So give it flying and have the option of pumping. Yep, that's fine. And your opponent has to block the Dissident, actually, here. Or the Scout, which they won't do the Scout. Yeah, this is a bad... The Worm doesn't have reach, right? Oh, it doesn't matter if it does, because we definitely trade up there. Yeah, pay that. Because they don't block, it's lethal, so the block has to occur. I'm sure the Stray is just going to go on the Dissident.
Yeah, and then I'm going to get my Foragers down.
Yeah, and then you can get the Foragers. So this is a really good scenario for you. If they block with the Worm, then you pump. If they block with the Patrol and the Stray, then you pump. And you get a 2-for-1 out of the way. Yep, perfect. So no pump. Opponent takes 4. And the Forager comes out, which puts even more pressure. Gain a little bit of life here too. Not a lot, but 3 life. Yep.
Come on, man. I'm at 19. It's still great.
Top decking a Mountain is really good. Top decking a Locket is also reasonable because you're at 7 mana. That puts you at 8 mana and 3 away. Yep, that makes it so you can... I
don't know what this guy does.
Puts out life linkers and pumps everything.
I don't think he has a flyer.
I don't think you block here because this still puts your opponent in a weird scenario. Because you're attacking... You can just attack it with everything. I mean, you could block with the
life linker.
The life linkers.
No, I can only block this dude with 1 creature.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I think you just let it go through.
So just 7 and then
Trostani. Trostani's a bomb.
Okay, so no blockers?
Yep. No lifelink here, so it's going to force out a So definitely attacking the Skyline Scout with flying, the Dissident, and you might have to hold back a lifelinker.
Yeah.
Because it just gets blocked by the Patrol. So I think you just attack with the 3 on the left. I don't think your opponent is... Yeah, that's fine. And you have a pumpable and... Yeah, flying on the Scout for sure.
Yeah. That feels right to deal with the flyer. God, I really wish that would have been a red land and just haste in.
I mean, your opponent doesn't have to block your flyer here. In fact, they might not. I don't think you attack with that other lifelinker. It just gets double blocked by 2 lifelinkers, and then allows your opponent to stabilize. So So leave back both your life linkers.
You think so?
Yeah, because it just gets double blocked, and then your opponent goes up to leaves it. They keep one of their life linkers. They go up to a 9, and that gives them a lot of better options of.
You calculate that combat situation 10 times faster than I can comprehend it.
Way too many years of experience playing.
Yeah, I really that's where I'm an averages player, and I can't even follow exactly what you're saying. Like, so 2/2/2s would be on one of my 3/3s.
You're still pumping here as well, since there's nothing else to do. That's fine. It's just ordering, yeah, and then hit the pump.
Yeah.
Dissident.
So I'm just absorbing.
Your opponent's going to go down to a 4 and losing that board right there.
A gain, yeah.
And that was a great trade because get those pesky life linkers out of the way. You just lose a 4/4 for two life linkers. That's a really good trade. Yeah, I leave the forest back just in case. There's no point to it. The worm is just getting in for 7. I don't think you need to make a block. I think your opponent needs to just keep back the worm, which doesn't give your opponent the best scenario here.
Yeah, it depends. He's got 4 cards though.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, those 2 sergeants. Here's where the splash hurts for sure. But that's one of the games. I mean, it said we were casting it 70% of the time, so this is one of the games. That's one of the worst cases there. Not a horrible. Oh, that's a hard card for you to deal with. So let's hit a red and just close this game out. Is what we need to find.
Okay, let's see. Great. Rough.
Oh wow, had a 2 drop as well. Ugh. And let's take it. That attack actually worked in your favor. Going down to a 7. Yeah, no blockers.
Going down to 5. You think that?
Oh yeah. You don't want to block here.
Okay.
Because it forces your opponent again on the defensive to lose cards, and that is at that point that's the right. Oh, why did it be a plains? Out of all the cards to draw, swing in with, in my opinion, swing with everything. It forces out. Tristani will block one of the 3/3s, put you back up to 8. Lose the. Okay, can they swing back for lethal though? No, you go up to 11.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly 11 though. I don't know. It's iffy, but I think you have to go for it. Too many lands there at the end in a row. Yeah, pump up your dissident. Yeah, it works out though. That works out pretty well. So just a pump on the dissident, kills their dissident. Puts it at 11. You do lose a life linker. Unfortunately, a 4/4 vigilance is coming out here. Depends on how aggressive your opponent can be. If they can cast 2 things this turn, that's going to be rough because we still have the option of top decking a sergeant. And opponent kept it back. Well, their opponent actually did the right thing by keeping it back because there's the sergeant, and that doesn't really do anything here. It's still the right play. You attack and it doesn't do anything. But you just play the sergeant. Hopefully we have another board stall and your opponent doesn't attack in with anything. Because the sergeant can still have another turn from the worm because you can still take the damage from the worm. So just
next turn I can double pump, by the way.
Yeah, that's not too shabby. So throw the sergeant out, pass the turn.
Yeah. No attackers.
Unfortunately, I think your opponent's just going to put out another blocker. But still, this gives us an out of drawing into the punch and just closing out this game here. Never mind. That was the worst card possible.
That sucks. That changes the race pretty bad. Mm,
You don't have enough to pump for it to kill the worm, right?
not this turn.
No, so I think you just pass it. You just let the damage go through. It's still not worth.
What happens at the end phase there?
Tristani just gains control of everything. So what happens if you pass? Does that lethal because you block? You can't double block. You know, you can gain some life. So passing the turn allows you to trade with the worm.
I can still trade with the worm with just a single pump. Like I can still.
Oh, you have a double pump though that can actually just kill the worm.
No, I mean.
But you'd lose it as well. Yep. Okay. So Sergeant and.
As long as it's leaving me green mana, that's fine.
Yep. And I guess just pass again, unfortunately.
That sucks.
Yeah, your opponent really drew out of this. Really, really did. With the Trostani. And then you also didn't. Like, too many lands in a row. We are a very heavy land deck. Didn't have a lot early, so... Yeah.
This ain't a good game.
Well, he must have a pump spell or anything, but yeah, I just pass it up. This isn't a good game. You have tons of blockers. So, opponent's attacking it. Did not pump first. So that most of those are sorcery speed. Yep, worm just gets... Go to block. Yeah, still have to go to block. Yeah, block with the dissident onto the worm. And then pump. Your opponent should have been way more aggressive with that Vigilant. If that Vigilant creature dies, it leaves back 2/2. 2/2/2s. And so with Trostani, that's 2/3/3s. The power goes up. It's harder for you to block. What do we still have? Like a Worm's Bat here. I don't think there's any outs we have left in the deck.
I will gain life, but I don't know.
Well, Conclave Tribunal is still pretty decent.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Get rid of a Cavalier.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still dealing with a Forager.
Let's see. Do I have any other flyers? Not really.
No. Jeez.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
They outpowered me here.
Yeah, there's really good draws at the end. You've drawn, I believe, between 60-80% land in this last bit. I mean, look at we're up to that's 12 lands. So there's 6 more in the deck.
It can happen.
I think just allow your opponent to make a mistake. I wouldn't play any more lands. Like, your lands are really good here, like, because you still need it for jump start for like risk factor if you do.
That's true. That's true. So
no attackers, pass it up, and allow your opponent to make a mistake.
Yeah, those 5/5s, 8/6. I don't see how I'm gonna survive.
No, I don't either. But still, just allow your opponent to make the mistake here.
I can't see what. I guess mistake is not attacking.
Yeah, well, your opponent's been doing that. Your opponent's been making mistakes. So.
Yeah, I guess this.
Block the Sergeant and the 3/3 on. Yeah, there's a mistake right there. Block the Sergeant and the 3/3 on the Hexproofer.
On the 8/6 guy.
Yep, and you survive. Again, though, I don't know what you can draw to get out of this. Save a risk factor and have your opponent let you draw cards.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The Champion would be pretty good to draw here. Champion would be a good out.
What is champ?
Allows you to put 1/1 life linkers.
It seems like he'd be a little turn too late though. Like
you can just chump block every turn and you might be because the Forager, your opponent can attack.
I mean, the summoning sickness, doesn't he have to tap?
No, it's just an activated ability. That just wins it. But again, your opponent gave you every opportunity to win that game. And that was just rough. That was a lot of lands there. We were stuck on the Sergeant for a long time and then drew not 1, but 2 in a row. And then, I mean, those are just, you got to chalk that up to just, you played it correctly. Unfortunately, the deck didn't decide to pan out?
So I tell you what, I should really put my 11-year-old to bed.
Sounds good to me. We've played enough here. It showed some good of each way. If you again are interested in this app, we'll have a Q&A. We'll schedule it. Just be watching the channel and the Twitter, the Facebook, wherever you follow Rogue Deck Builder, and I'll have the Q&A scheduled when we can meet up with Travis again to go over the finer points of the app. I hope you enjoyed how it worked out. I think the deck was very good. The mana base was awesome. I don't think we can argue with that. And yeah, any closing thoughts, Travis?
No, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate your channel and hope to work with you in the future. And I just want to put out there to the listeners, this app could be your app. Like, I'm responsive. Like, if you give me a feature, find a bug, got an idea, I'm gonna work real hard for you. Just I want you to be happy. And I'll post when I come back and play tonight. I'll post my record. So
yeah,
you can put that in the Discord.
Awesome. So yep, if you are a patron, we have a link already up for you. Patrons get early access, so go check that out. Start giving us feedback.
Thanks, Mark.
See you later.
Bye.